Welcome to my new lesson, dear students. Today in this short video, let's discuss John Keats' Ode to a Nightingale, one of the prescribed poems for your advanced level syllabus. Ode means praise. Ode means praise. Ode to Nightingale means praise to a nightingale. John Keats writes several odes. One is Ode to a Nightingale, Ode to West Wind, Ode to Autumn, which are very famous poems in English literature. You may know that John Keats is one of the leading romantics, right? Romantic poets. There are leading romantic poets for our syllabus. P.B. Shelley, William Wordsworth, they are romantic poets. You know what romanticism is. 19th century period of writing literature in England is called romantic period, and that style is called romanticism. Romanticism means writing literary texts, poetry or drama or novel, right, related to nature, human feelings and political thoughts. Political thoughts are also romantic. Some people misunderstand that romantic means male-female love. That is one side only, right? Before age, now there are ages in English literature, eras. 18th century age is called Augustan age, right? Augustan poets. In Augustan time, poets didn't write about nature. They didn't see nature. That's why romantic period was started. Father of romanticism in England is William Wordsworth, right? William Wordsworth poems also we have. Somebody, My Spirit Seal. Now anyway, now we are doing here Ode to Nightingale. John Keats is a follower of William Wordsworth, right? There was that time factory system in England. In factory system, because of the factory system, people of England didn't pay attention to any nature's things, human feelings. They didn't know it. That's why they started writing. John Keats is a nature romantic. He deals with nature only. He doesn't talk about politics. But William Wordsworth deals with politics also, right? Political feelings. Now anyway, you should know that John Keats lived a very short time. He died in his age 25. Even today, his tombstone, right, on his tombstone in Avon churchyard, right, there is an epitaph like this. Here lies a man whose name is written in water, right, on his tombstone. We could see even today. You can type internet, Google and find that. John Keats tombstone, right. He was a medical apprentice. His brother got consumption, in other words tuberculosis. That time there was no treatment for that. Antibiotics was not found, right? It was contagious. Being a medical apprentice, Keats treated his brother. As a result of that, the disease, right, became contagious to him. He knew that he was dying, right? In his last day of life, he wrote these poems, right? This particular poem, right, he writes in one evening. In his last days, he visited several friends' houses, as I said. One, Richard Armitage Brown. In Richard Armitage Brown's garden, under plum tree, right, he was writing this poem, Ode to a Nightingale. He heard the sweet musical sound of a nightingale, a bird singing on a tree, with an imagery and lot of exaggerations he speaks of that. Poem start like this: Ode to Nightingale. My heart aches and a drowsy numbness pains. Now I feel a drowsy numbness, like no strength. It's very weak. My sense as though hemlock I had drunk. He feel like he had drunken poison. Hemlock is a plant of which juice is poisonous. For example, a Greek court in times of yore gave death penalty to Socrates, asking him to drink hemlock juice at the court itself. Then Socrates drank, and his lower side of the body became weak. He fell in the court itself and died. So he says that he feel like hemlock. Now we know that he is passing his last days of life. Oh, M-type some dull opiate to the drain. Now drinking hemlock is unhappiness, it's death. But dull opiate to the drains, again happiness. He feels like he has drunken opiate, dull opiate to the drains. Right, he's talking about drinking wine. 1 minute passed and leadwards had sunk. He feels like he is taking towards lead. The poet refers to the Greek mythology. In Greek literature, there is a river in Hades, underworld, called Lethe. Those who go to underworld after death have to bathe in that river Lethe as a means of forgetting the human world things. Now he feels like he is dragged toward that Lethe. 'Tis not through envy of thy happy lot. The poet personifies Nightingale, speaking thy. Thy mean your. He says, I am not jealous at your happiness, but being too happy in thine happiness. Now one time he is unhappy, again happy. The technique is oxymoron. But being too thy happy in thy happiness. Okay, I am becoming happy at your happiness. To whom does he speaks? That singing bird, Nightingale. That thou light-winged dryad of the trees. According to him, he feels this nightingale, singing bird, like a dryad. Dryad, according to Greek mythology, is a tree nymph or tree fairy or wood nymph, an angel or nymph, if not goddess, living on a tree, living in a tree. Understand? You may understand that. Now, according to the narrator, this bird, nightingale, is a dryad. In some melodious plot of beechen trees, there are beechen trees and shadow numberless. There are so many shadows. Now it is in the evening. The singest of summer feel in full-throated ease. I feel your musical sound, musical voice like a full-throated ease of a draught of vintage that had been cooled long age in the deep delved earth. Now he expresses again happiness. He equates that musical sound of the nightingale to a draught of wine, seasoned a long time inside the floor. I think you children don't know what this means. Wine, it said that wine is made after seasoning hundreds of years in wooden vats underground, under the floor. That's not happened now. Nowadays there are chemicals. But the original process I mentioned, he says, I feel like drinking wine that has been seasoned inside the earth for a long time. What is that? Musical sound. Again he equates that to tasting of flora and country green. Tasting flora means at that time there was a festival, flora festival. Thousands of men and women had freedom to dance naked. They enjoy it a lot there. Now he equates that musical sound of the bird to flora dancing, that he says, tasting of flora, and the country green, dance and provincial zone and sunburn mirth. It is like a country dance, like a provincial zone, again sunburnt mirth. Mirth means happiness, sunburnt mirth means, foreigners, especially Western Europeans, they come and bask in sun on the beach. I feel like that. Full of true, the blushful hypocrite now. Again he feels it like drinking ambrosia from hypocrite. Gods and goddesses consume ambrosia. Right? Their food is ambrosia. In the heaven, according to Greek mythology, there is a spring. Right? There is a natural spring called hypocrite. Gods and God drink from that hypocrite. I also feel like now I am drinking ambrosia from that hypocrite. Okay? Beaded bubbles winking at the brim. Now this is imagery. Imagination. Imaginative thing. No one has seen that hypocrite. That occurs in Greek literature. So the poet says that hypocrite is now full of bubbles. Right? At the brim, and purple stained mouth. After drinking that, his mouth stained purple. That is also imagery. Why? Keats doesn't know what ambrosia is. He has never tasted. That I might drink and leave the world unseen. I might drink that ambrosia and then leave the world unseen. Leave the world unseen means he knows that he is at the gate of death. Right? His imminent death is predicted. And with thee fade away into the forest dim. You will fade away into the forest dim. So my breath will also goes to the environment. After that in a reduction says fade far away, dissolve, quite forget. That means go away. What thou among the leaves has never known. Please fly away without leaving what you did. The weariness, the fever and the fret, because I have weariness that created by the illness, tuberculosis. The fever, he has fever. The fret, because fret that created by the disease. Here where men sit and hear each other groan. Human world is different from that bird's world. Human world is full of troubles. That's why I say here where men sit and hear each other groan. Where falls shake a few, sad last grey hairs. Now, he is a weak person. Palsy is a disease, that is weak one. A few sad last grey hairs. His hair is gone. He has gone, only few hair remains. Where youth grow pale and spectre thing. Youth grow pale means his youthful beauty, handsome beauty vanishes. And spectre thing. He is thing like a spectre now, ghost, that is also imagery, and dies. We are but to think to be full of sorrow. Now, thinking of that death is full of sorrow to him. And leaden eyes, eye despairs. His eye gives lead color. It symbolizes despair. Right? Where beauty cannot keep the lustrous eyes. Looking at my figure, my eyes, my hair, no beautiful girls can keep their lustrous eyes. They don't love me now because I am not handsome. I am sick, going to die. Dying man like a spectre, ghost. Therefore, new love pine at them beyond tomorrow. Beautiful girls who loved me, they will find another strong and healthy young men. Girls don't like to, fall in love with sick men. Away, away, away. Away, away, away. For I will fly to thee. In a deduction he orders. Ordering is a technique, is called deduction. Away, away. That means fly away. I will fly to thee. I will also fly to thee mean he is ready to die. Not charioted by batches and his parts. I will come to you, but not charioted by Bacchus and his parts. Bacchus is a god, right? That according to Greek literature, god Bacchus has his carts, chariots. Chariots are drawn by parts, leopards, right? Then he says, I will not come to you by charioted by Bacchus and parts, but on the viewless wings of poetry. That is also imagery. I will make poems. Through the poems I will come to you. That is innocent expression, imagery. Though the dull brain perplexes and retards. His brain is dull, perplexes and retards. Already with the 10 days the night. Now it is night for his life. 10 days the night. Also environment by natural environment, now it is night time, and happily the queen moon is on her throne. In a personification he described the beauty of night when the moon rises. Queen moon is on her throne, clustered around by her all starry face. Stars are fairies, angels, but here there is no light. But for his world there is no light, because his world is dark. Now he is going to die. Save what from heaven is with breeze blown, though verdurous gloom and wind in mossy ways. He feels the breeze, cool breeze blowing over him. I cannot see what flowers are my feet. One is darkness, other is weak eyesight. He can't see what flowers at his feet, nor what soft incense hangs upon the boughs. He can't identify, make out the fragrance that emerged from environment. Which fragrance? Because his senses are now weak. But in embalmed darkness, guess each sweet, wherewith the seasonable month endows, the grass, the thicket, and the fruit trees wild. There are thickets, fruit trees, white hawthorn, and the pastoral eglantine. Fast fading violets. Violets are also flowers, covered up in leaves, and midday May's eldest child. The season is seen like mid-May's eldest child. The coming musk rose, he feels a fragrance like musk rose, full of divi wine. They are covered with divi wine, the murmurous haunt of flies on summer eaves. Eaves are roofs. In the season of summer, roofs are covered with flies. Flies are here bees. Darkly I listen. Here he speaks to environmental darkness and also the darkness of his life. Now he is going to die, I mentioned. And for many a time I have been half in love with easeful death. He wishes an easeful death. Happiness and death are present. Called him soft names in many a muse rhyme. Death is personified. In medieval time, there was a belief that an unseen man called Death came to kill man when man was in bed. Called him names in many muse rhyme. To take into the air my quiet breath. He wishes that easily death will come and take his breath. Mean he will die. No more than ever seems it is rich to die. To seize upon the midnight with no pain. Seize mean die. He wishes to die midnight without pain. While thou art mean you are, pouring forth thy soul abroad. Abroad mean far away, in such an ecstasy. Still wouldst thou sing, and I have ears in vain. Again he has no senses. Yes, okay, he can't hear properly. To thy high requiem become a sword. Thou wast not born for death, immortal bird. The poet exaggerates Nightingale's immortal bird because it is not born for die. But John Keats was born to die. No hungry generation tread thee down. Hungry generation means romantic time, factory season, age, industrial world. Thee down. The voice I hear this passing night was heard in ancient days by emperor and clown. At that time, many thousands years ago, emperors also heard Nightingale's voice. But the poet here considers Nightingale as immortal bird. John Keats dies, but Nightingale will live. Not this particular bird, the bird Nightingale. Perhaps the self-same song that found a path through the sad year of Ruth. Sometimes Ruth may have heard it. Ruth is a story that comes in Old Testament of the Bible. Bible, there are two versions, Old Testament and New Testament. In Old Testament there is an Israel woman called Ruth. It's a long story. Ruth was taken to another country and she was always upset because she couldn't go to her parents. She was worried, like that. When sick for home, Ruth was sick for home. They stood in tears amid the alien corn. Alien corn means Ruth was spreading corn, like our paddy grain, and in that cornfield, if not that threshing ground, she was homesick. She was crying in tears. I am also like that. He equates himself to that female character of Ruth in biblical context. The same that oftentimes had charmed magic casement opening on the form of perilous seas in fairylands of forlorn. Finally he says forlorn. The very word is like a bell. It's a bell that tolls his death to toll me back from thee to my soul self. Adieu, the fancy cannot cheat so well as she is famed to do, deceiving elf. The poet equates that nightingale to a deceiving elf. Adieu, adieu. Thy plaintive anthem fades, past near meadow, over still streams, up the hillside, and now it is buried deep in the next valley glades. Now the nightingale is flying away. He is listening to its music. It fades away. Was it a vision or waking dream? He questioned, in a rhetorical question he asked, is it a dream or real thing? Fled is that music, do I wake or sleep? He feels, do I wake or sleep on hearing that? Now this is a romantic poem that speaks of beauty of nature, or to a nightingale. At that time, industrial men didn't pay attention to, they didn't listen to such sweet musical voices of the birds. John Keats inculcates that the industrial man, that there are sweet things for man to live when living in the world, that is nature. You need long notes explaining point by point, taking quotation by quotation, otherwise it is very difficult to sit for the exam. Therefore, be ready from now. Learn by heart some quotation. If you can learn all the poem, that's tremendously beneficial to you. Try on it. There's nothing impossible. In my classes also, I will dictate long notes and make you learn by heart these quotations. Let's meet in another video. Have a nice day and again goodbye.